Good morning. This is Lori from the Paint Girly channel, and this is part 2 of creating watercolor background pages a la Shannon Green. I watched a video of Shannon's, and she made some delightful pages, and I decided I wanted to try it. So there is a video 1 where I get started, and I wanted to dry some pages and then make a second recording. So this is where you are. If you haven't watched part 1, you might want to do that. But if you haven't, I'm going to tell you what you need. Shannon recommends a watercolor brush, something that's quite large if you have it. Any shape, doesn't matter. I'm using a number 16 round. She recommends you get out some watercolor paints and that you will go through them quite quickly, which is also true. She said you really only need 8 colors. Of course, I'm a little obsessive about stuff like that, so I got out a couple different pans. And then you need a spray container of some kind. You're not going to be swishing your brush into a jar of water. I'm going to use a spray gun. And then she recommends a ShamWow type mop-up cloth, which really is fabulous. I don't know why I wouldn't have thought of that before for any project, really. But if you don't have that, certainly a big wad of paper towels or maybe an absorbent type of cloth would work. I'm thinking maybe even a piece of a bath towel, terry cloth, something like that. If you don't have the ShamWow, but really the ShamWow is fabulous if you have it. So if I understood Shannon correctly, she speeds up her video and she tells you how to put, she shows you how to put on the paint and what she does. And I believe she does one side first, and then she comes back on and she tells you she's, over anxious and can't wait. And so she dried her pages in the oven, which I did some of that as well. It's hard to wait, and you'd really have to have a big space to lay out all these pages, if you're doing, and she recommends doing a bunch at a time. And that makes sense, because once you've got everything out, why not do it? And then when you want to use pages, you've got them available. But like with anything else, guys, right, you're going to find your own way, and your own way of doing things, your own technique, whatever. And I found, and I did quite a bit of paper. I mean, I've got 2 stacks that are huge. I mean, this is only maybe about, gosh, maybe a quarter of what I did. And they really are cool. They sound wonderful. They look fabulous. Okay. But I thought, for me, it was a waste of time to do one side, dry them, and then come back and do the second side. So what I did yesterday afternoon was I did a little testing, and I worked on doing both sides at one time, and it worked out just fine. So I've got some paper down here that has not been started. So I'm going to show you a couple of those. But first I'm going to show you me doing the second side. Now, personally, I think I like the mop-up pages better than the original pages, but they're both kind of yummy, okay? So this is a side where I put all the watercolor on, and this side I mopped up. Shannon says if you get any muddy areas, you take another piece of paper and mop up the muddy part, and you get some really cool stuff. I mean, this girl is spot on, okay? She knows what she's doing, and she's very clever. And I'm going to link her video in my description box. So I've gone ahead and sprayed the tops of my watercolors, which you want to do that, all right? And I've got some pages that are half done sitting here, and that I'm going to use for mop up. And then I've got some half the one side done here as well. So I'm just going to do a few because I don't want the video to be too terribly long. All right. And then I've got some plain pages that have nothing done on them yet either. And I have some underneath. Now, if you didn't watch part one, I'm using pages from a planner, pages from a book, pages from a dictionary, National Geographic magazine pages, and I'll talk a little bit more about the magazine pages when I get there. So this stack that already has one side done and they're dry, I'm going to flip them over because now I'm going to work on the back side. Back side. They're all back side. Okay. So first up, I have dictionary pages. I didn't really notice this in Shannon's video, but she could have done this. Like I said in my first video, I have a hard time just following a speeded up version. But there again, you know, I like to watch paint dry. So there you have it. So I'm just going to start in. I've got some frosted colors here that I don't really use. And I thought I'd like to use up some of these. This is a koi set, but they really are kind of nice. And for this project, it really gives the pages a nice shine, a little shimmer, shimmer. And so I'm just putting on some paint and picking up different colors that I think will go or that I might like to use. Putting a little pop of something crazy in really works for me. Okay, so you've got this crazy mess here, right? I don't know if you can really see that. Can you see? And then you can move it and drip it. So that's, you know, really kind of soggy. And I really don't have anything muddy here yet, but like I said, I like the sop up pages. So I'm just going to sop that up with the dry. I mean, really, come on, right? And then I just put them in a bin that I have sitting off to the side. See, and then this guy looks great too. Now, if you want, you can add more. You can certainly tip it and let those colors run. Let them run on your next page. Now, this is just doing one side at a time. And I'm going to spray this next one. I'm just going to show you a few of these. Now, Shannon also mentions that she kind of just sometimes cleans her brush off on the next page, right? Let's do something a little brighter. I like to use this. I have no idea what these colors are anymore, but it's some kind of a yellow. And then I've got this red. I love the way these two mix together. And I've been doing some diagonal, some straight up and down. But yeah, I mean, you can do whatever. Because really, once you get sitting here doing this, and you've been doing it for a couple of hours, you get a little cray-cray. Okay, now that looks kind of cool by itself. All right. But then let's go in and put a little wildness in here. Some bright orange. I've got some Paul Rubens. The colors are really wow. They're very bright. And I agree with Shannon. I wouldn't necessarily use good watercolor to do this. You know, I think Walmart's got a set for like $6. Cool, right? So you can just mop up that stuff. And like I said, mine's not really getting muddy, but it might, because I'm going to show you something else I did. All right, so that's another one. And I'm just stacking these, and with them being watercolor, they don't really stick to each other, which is also cool. Like when I do coffee dyed paper, they stick because the coffee's got some sugar in it, I guess. You know, it sticks. All right, so I've got some of that yellow left on my brush. Now you also can just wipe off your brush on your ShamWow or whatever you've got on the side there to take care of, you know, your extra moisture on your brush. This is kind of some gold shimmery colors here I'm just putting down kind of as a background. Excuse me. And then let's do some, I don't have too much in the way of green. I started to do some circles. Yeah, okay, here we're going to create some mud. That's kind of muddy. My Paul Rubin green is really good. So now I'm just doing little swirls, which really doesn't, it's really not going to matter, and you're really not going to see so much of a swirl pattern. But hey, it gets you used to practicing your brush. Number one. Okay, I like blue and green together. Let's get some blue on here. Let's see, I think this is a blue. Yeah, this is more of a muted kind of a blue. I have no idea what these colors are. None. Now this is really juicy. I could add more water on here if I wanted to. Your paper's going to get really wet. Okay. And it really does look cool if you let it drip. But see, it's a little muddy here and there because I kind of mixed those. But when you put this paper down, this dry paper to sop it up, it kind of alleviates some of that. And you really get some cool patterns. You know? Sweet. Okay, so now this, I've kind of taken a lot of the color off of this. So I'm going to add some more color back on. And I've got that green underneath. And if you have a special project, you know, use those colors that would work with your project. Or like Shannon says in her video, if she made tons of it. And if you do that, now I'm going to spray this again because I want it to be really juicy. See, and see how it kind of runs and makes coolness. And then it gives you more to mop up. Like Shannon said, she did tons of it. And she had no idea what she would do with the paper. But over time, you go through it. You use a piece here for collage. You take some pages and make a journal with it. And they're so lovely and crunchy. And oh, they really are wonderful. Okay, moving on. So let me show you the magazine pages. So this is just, I'm going to use this one because it's got kind of a lighter background. Now I did the back side, of course, like I said. So this already has some color on it. Now this other side, the magazine does not take the watercolor as well as, say, a book page. Even the dictionary page doesn't take it quite as well. So I was spraying them ahead and in my stack to give the water a little bit of a chance to soak in a little bit more. And not that the magazine pages are waxy, but they do have that glossy finish. So your color will bead up. Let's use something dark. And then, you know, every once in a while, you're going to have to respray your paint. You want to keep your watercolors nice and wet. Now, actually, this is taking this pretty well because I already did the other side. It's not beating up so much. So let's do this one. And then let's do one that I haven't done anything to at all. Let's see what that's like. And then I'm going to go ahead and show you what I was doing last night. Let's see here. Purple and blue are kind of cool together. And I'm just going to make a crazy pattern because I can. I'll spray that a little more. And chip it up so you can kind of see what I did. Now, see, I'm thinking I'm going to use my pages to make a journal of some kind. See, to me, that's just delightful. So as I was working through, I thought I might like to have my back side and my other side match. But I don't know. I don't know if that's a great idea. So in here, you've got your magazine page. Now let me pull out a page of magazine that was not done at all. Let's see. This one you can see very well. Okay, this is a National Geographic page. So most of us know what that's like, right? So I'm going to spritz it. It doesn't really matter if it's right side up, but I'm going to switch it there. And let's see here. Let me use some purple. I really love purple and green together, but like I said, I don't have really a great green. So let's put some of the shimmer purple on. Mix that in. And then let me use some, let me use some blue. This blue's pretty strong. Let's get some blue in here. Now, I don't know if you can see maybe a little bit here where it's beading up. And it's funny because the bottom part of the page, it's not. It's kind of working pretty well. But see the top part of the page, can you see the little beads of paint? So that's what your magazine pages and pages like National Geographic do. All right. But they also, they work really well for a mop-up page as well. And then I find that most of your paint kind of comes off when you mop it up. And they just look so cool with the way that the pages blend together. Now look at the bottom of this one. See, that looks cool, but up here where the picture is, it's all beaded up. But that's going to dry. So, cool beans. All right. Now I want to show you what I did. Let's see here. I need some pages that are not done. So I'm just going to use regular book pages. And this is a nice weight. They're not thin like dictionary pages, but they're still pretty, they're not like cardstock. So I'm just going to wet my surface like I did the others. And let's see. This is the harder part of this job, is deciding what colors you're going to use. So you can see I've got quite a bit of water on there. I've got a little bit of muddiness, but see how it's, oh, you can't see. Wait a minute, it's glary. See how it's kind of moving in and grooving? Let's see, let's do purple again. And, this really isn't, there's a little bit of mud over here. All right. Now what I should have done, I have a piece up here. So now I have another piece of paper that doesn't have anything on it, and I'm going to mop that up. I had a, oops, stuck together. So I get that cool sheet, right? And then this was my original. So this looks cool. But now I'm going to flip it over on my stack and I'm going to do the back side. Just twist it again. And because I'm a little goofy, I'm going to do it the same colors because I'm thinking I might want to have it the same color. And now Lori forgets what she put in there. So it did some kind of blue. Blue and purple, of course, mix okay together. And then I'm going to take another plain sheet that I haven't done anything to, and I'm going to mop this up. Oh, wow. Look at that. Can you see that? See how that kind of gets? I love that. And then some of it's all mushed together. And then I have my original. So now I have both sides done. Both sides are done. I can put this in my bin, and when I dry it, either I let it dry naturally or dry it in the oven. It's done, and I don't have to come back and do the second side. See, that works for me because I'm a lazy butt. Okay? That's just the truth of it. So now my underneath sheet where I flipped it, that's also got color on it. So now I only have to do the one side. See how that works? So let's switch colors, and you can just rub your brush off on your ShamWow or whatever you're using. And I'm going to put some of my shimmery paint on here. It's a green tone. So then I'm going to go into this blue-green color I have, which I probably should know what this is, but I don't. And I don't want to take a guess and mislead anyone. And let me pick up some yellow. Oh, that's a bright yellow. Can you see that? See how bright that is? And I think I'm going to add some of this, like kind of red purple. It got a little muddy over here, but that's okay. It's okay. Now, if I wanted to, I could really spray this with some more water. Let's do that. So I'm making it really juicy and wet. Okay. Now I'm just going to put down a dry piece. Cool. And then I have my original. And I'm going to flip that over. Now that was from the other piece that I did. I'm just going to add some more. So you can do whatever you want, guys. And it's so cool. It's a really cool, fun technique. And like I said, you can just mix and match. I did one page that had like the rainbow colors. And then if you have some of the shimmers, I didn't try any of my good gold stuff. Like I have some, Fine Tech, or I forget what it's called. Cool, right? Woohoo! All right, so I'm going to end this video. So this is my twist on Shannon Green's technique of creating watercolor background paper pages. This piece is really cool. And then see, even my underneath piece, I've got that started. Now I might want to add a little bit to that, but it looks cool the way that it, sorry guys, it looks cool the way that it just is kind of fading out into nothing. So it's really cool. So there you go. All right, that's it for me for this video. Check out my part 1. And don't forget to check out Shannon's video as well. And I'll see you on the next live or the next video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And I guess that's it, right? Subscribe, share, save. If you have any questions, leave me a comment. Love to hear your comments. That would be fabaroonie. All right, everyone. See you soon. Take care. And don't forget, take time to be creative and enjoy the journey. Bye-bye.